think
change it to the three at the back, like I said then.
Do we think then? Do we think that
No,
potentially?
we change it to the three at the back. But before
Do
you
we
go,
think
I
then?
want to get into the Guehi stuff.
Oh, this crybaby.
In terms of whose fault is it? Who let him down, bro? Why is he not a Liverpool player, bro?
G's fault.
Did Liverpool miss a message with Guehi, and who's at fault for not signing him?
It's Liverpool, bro. Like there's only one person who's going to play, and it's
why is it Liverpool's fault?
I think it's Liverpool's fault too. Blood.
Why is it Liverpool's fault?
Because you're gonna say the same thing you told me yesterday, bro. I'm not hearing it, bro.
I don't think it's Liverpool's fault. I don't think it's Liverpool's fault. I don't think it's Liverpool's fault.
You know when you asked at the beginning of the show? At the beginning of the show, you asked, why did we take so long for Isak, innit? So if that's the question, why the hell did we take so long for Guehi is the real question, bro. Because the Isak thing's been going on for time, bro.
Because I told you, they said we couldn't sign him until they found replacements, bro. That's what they were saying.
I hear that, bro. Exactly, a club said you can't sign to replace. That doesn't mean you're not allowed to offer us any money, bro. They could have done that early, more money, bro. Last season, Spurs tried to buy him. They said no, bro. They couldn't get him to sign a new contract, though. The beginning of the transfer window, Chelsea wanted him. They didn't get him. You could have offered. We were just chilling, bro. Looking at everyone else.
Thing. That's the way our club is run.
Liverpool ain't respectful, but it's business.
No, we are. Newcastle told us he's not for sale. No problem. We threw a bid in, like what you just said. We did the same thing for Isak, and they told us go away.
Yeah,
so do you know what? Let's not go. No, well, technically we didn't because it was 120. The difference is a 5.
It was 110. It was 110 and then reverse
10 add-ons. So it's 120.
Bro, it's 110, man.
Bro, it was 110 plus the 10
bro,
add-ons.
You know it was 110. Your whole video said it was 110. You know it, bro.
Plus the add-ons. That's
because they were disgusted. That's when all the Geordies started piping on like Anton Deck and that, bro. Talking about that's disgusting how they offer us 110, bro. At the end of the day, obviously, whose fault it is? You can't blame Palace because of course, they want to keep their player in it, so they can never be at fault.
Literally,
that's impossible.
No. Do you know? No, but do you know why that? The only time I think that I could go and blame, from Guehi's perspective, why I think you have a gripe with Palace, right? Is Palace have told him, yes, go and get the medical. And the way it seemed, right, even the day before, remember, he played his games. Liverpool wanted him before. It was like, is he going to play that conference game? You know, if it was the first European game, him and Eze both played it. So they would have had the talks already, right? He, from what I understand, was in the tracksuit, bruv.
But I'll be real though, but even all of that is even, like you just said, Palace. Glasner is part of Palace, right?
No.
He's never agreed ever. Not once did he want him to leave.
No. He said
he did make a good video.
No, he did, and he said we'd only want it if he went and if we had a replacement, a Premier League proven replacement and stuff. The problem is that Parish, and this is where it goes back to Palace. Parish was saying after the Community Shield, we're gonna have to let him go because we can't let him go on a free. So there's already a miscommunication between the manager saying one thing, saying, nah, I don't want to let him go, and the club saying that they are going to go and let him go. So from Guehi's position, right, if he's being told by the owner of the club, you are allowed to go, you are allowed to leave, they are in the London office and he's in a tracksuit, right, the recording is done. So the media team have already done the goodbye video for Guehi. Liverpool have now submitted, oh, you know what, we want extra time just to ensure it. Like, we're late into the day. Bear in mind, this news came out early in the day. Like, oh yeah, that's done, right?
Yeah.
It's on Palace because Palace have told him, yeah, you can go and do the medical and then change their mind in the final hour. It's not like they've said you're not going at all.
But you missed the key part. You've just, like, they still need to get that replacement, which they didn't get. So I'm like,
then why? But then that's my point. But why would they? But this is the point. Why would they then allow? Again, if they've told him you are allowed to leave, we are going to leave, and they've done the preparation, they've done the video, and then pulled the plug.
That's what they had thingy for they was going for 2 players. They got JD. Igor broke down,
and then they were going to get that Igor guy, and then they didn't get Igor.
So broke down at the last minute. Now they're scurrying around trying to find players. There ain't enough time. Guehi, stay where you're there.
And also on top of that, if Liverpool, like that's what I'm saying, like I can only look at Liverpool. Like, you're the buying club. Like, I can't look at the selling club and be like, well, it's your fault that you kept the player that you wanted, because Liverpool had the whole summer to do this deal. This isn't a deal that we're looking at it thinking, yeah, we're still waiting for this and that. Bro, like, other clubs, if they can't get their deal, we're basing this whole deal on Crystal Palace getting a player. Same thing we tried to do with Newcastle. We were lucky that Newcastle got the player. Palace didn't get the player. So it's like, so you waiting on them to do whatever it is that they were potentially trying to do, knowing that they didn't even want to let this brother leave in the first place. So I'm like, bro, why didn't you just sort this out time ago? Offer the whatever the money that they wanted, that you ended up paying or wanted to pay anyway. You ended up wanting to pay anyway. So what the fuck were you doing before?
Yeah,
all right.
Before the conference match, by the way, before the conference match.
Do you know what I want to
add? Played. Sorry.
I want to add here because I want us
to
to clear
it medical and go to another club.
I want to clear it up here because then I want the room for the conversation to have legs on it as well. Liverpool offered for him. They told us we had to wait. This was a month ago. You also agreed terms from the reporters saying that you agreed terms with Liverpool a month ago. So all of that.
No. Who agreed terms? Who agreed terms?
Gay and Liverpool.
Okay,
in terms of the personal terms, they were agreed a month ago, right? So that part is done. The only difference was club to club wasn't agreed yet. The reason why the club to club was exactly what you guys are saying. Palace needed to solve the issue. So Liverpool would no matter.
No.
That's what the report was.
No.
I'm giving you facts.
No. Enz, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying you missed the step. That wasn't the first thing. The first thing that was the issue is that Liverpool weren't offering the price that they wanted.
Okay. Leave that aside.
That's important, bro.
No, because Palace wouldn't have sold. Palace wouldn't have sold without getting a replacement. So Glasner was still saying, "I don't want to sell the player," and Parish was.
But they still needed
No. But G, if we're gonna go, we can't go that because the main point, no matter, even if they said this is a price, even they would still say we haven't found our replacement yet. So even if they said a price and we went, whoa, there's no point of us throwing in a bid yet because we still have to wait until you fix the issue.
This is why we're getting it wrong. Bro,
let me land the point. Let me land the point, and then you can have a rebuttal. Yeah, but there's no point of you bidding for something if the person is telling you I'm still gonna have to wait until I have a replacement. It makes no sense doing that. So Liverpool had to wait. We've waited to the point where they were like, okay, we're going to get this, and this. No problem. We're going to get these two players. Right, now we throw in our bid. We've thrown our bid because now we've ticked all the boxes. You're going after the players you told us you're going to get. You've now sanctioned it club to club. You agreed the fee that what we agreed upon. The player already agreed terms back end. I've done my video that I'm going to leave the football club. So now
you've done the medical. You've done the medical. You've done it. It's completed. My medical.
So now it can't be the club and it can't be Guehi's problem. Now it's going to be. That's why it's Palace's fault, bro. Because they've not done their job. Can't be Liverpool's. Liverpool waited and been respectful. Offered you the money you wanted. Gave you enough time to go on sanction and get your moves. So how can we be at fault for this?
Disrespectful thing. Disrespect. Yeah, that's
a whole month. A whole
month. Saying Liverpool being respectful.
But you just said they sorted it out now. If you're saying Palace,
but what it was for me, right? What it was for me is that Liverpool again, we know how it works, right? They're not just going and submitting bids just randomly, right? So they would have been speaking to the club for ages. Now, there might have been a negotiation in terms of price. Like originally, Palace want 50 million before they entertain anything, and Liverpool are like, no, we're not paying 50 million. They're not paying 50 million. Within that time, right? Because if they didn't do that, there would have been a problem. Palace granted Liverpool the ability to go and negotiate with Guehi whilst this is all going on in the background. Because otherwise, you would have had the Morgan Gibbs White situation where you've tapped up behind our backs. We're going in. That didn't happen, right? So he was able to negotiate the wages and stuff from early because we heard about the Guehi thing from early. Now it comes down to it. Glasner's saying, no, we're not selling. And Parish comes out and says, no, you know what? We're going to have to sell because we can't, which means to me that Parish has already spoken to someone about, look, we're going to sort out straight after the Community Shield when they face Liverpool, right? Cool. Then it's like, you got the next game after that. And like, right, what's going on? Liverpool haven't submitted the bid yet, right? So we're thinking, right, the Guehi thing will potentially be off. Palace have just said they're not signing him. The owner of the club has gone against the wishes of the manager and said, actually, I want that 35 million, to then turn around in the last hour because Glasner threatens him with leaving the club, right? And you can't afford that to happen because otherwise then it sticks up. They've lost Eze, Guehi, and their manager. And he's had to be like, you know what? I'm going to have to hold this and maybe sort something out in January because we haven't done our due diligence as a club. Of course, we can argue and be like, yeah, Liverpool could have offered loads of money, but there'll be no guarantee that Palace would have said, yeah, like, yeah, like, we're going to let him go.
My only gripe with Liverpool is that you guys are acting like Palace had time. They didn't have time.
They had a whole month, G. They did have a time.
They didn't have a whole month.
They did, because they knew that Liverpool were interested. They knew the player wanted to go.
Okay. So the key part of what Jerry just said, right, is that obviously we ended up finding out that Glasner obviously said that he would keep it moving if they sold Guehi, right? Because he doesn't want to sell them. In that time, yeah. So the whole month that you're talking about, yeah, Glasner already told us in that month. At the beginning of this month when it started, he's already said when they were doing the qualifiers for the Conference League before the season even started, he said, I'm not trying to lose. You cannot replace the guy. Cool, yeah? So if the manager's already told you, he's not looking for any other replacement.
The club, like, what's Paris said after what did Paris say?
Club, though, that's the no, but he's the club. The club
is the club manager, bro. The decision about the play.
Jerry, it can't be. You know how but it can't be, because we just saw that Glasner said, I'll bounce if you sell him. So forget the club. It's irrelevant in this point, because the manager is clearly big enough for me to say.
Then why did if that's the case, then why did Parish, right? Even though Glasner saying this, why did Parish accept that bid in the final hour, right? Why did he go and accept it and then try and keep it and then try and do that? Because otherwise he'd just been on the same page with Glasner. I can't afford to let Glasner go. Yeah, I'm gonna leave. But he was saying on media, face-to-face media, saying, no, we're gonna have to let him go. We can't let him go on the free though. So the owner of the club.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I like everything in that regard. I'm not disagreeing. Of course, they need to let him go because they need to appease him, right? What I'm saying to you is that for Glasner, the relationship between Glasner, Parish, and how Glasner's just even seen there, it is bigger. Like, he is almost as big as the chairman there. No matter what we think about it, he's just seen that way. So when we've then seen, he's then said, bro, if you sell the brother, I don't care if I get an Igor or whoever, brother, I'm bouncing. I don't care who you get in. Like, it's now irrelevant unless you're gonna go out and sign a young Virgil van Dijk. I'm not like, it's now a myth at this point. They've already got, now you've got the defender. So they've had all this due diligence stuff. They got the defender now. Guess what? I still don't want him. Why? Because I ain't trying to sell him. So if you now sell him, it's game done. So it doesn't matter if it was in the first hour, so that's in the middle. It really didn't make any difference.
That's why that's to your point. That's why it's Palace's fault, because ultimately, to your point,
how can it be your fault? It's your player.
Yes, but from Guehi's perspective, why the deal hasn't commenced? Palace allowed Liverpool to talk to Guehi months ago, when this 2 months ago, right? The talk was 40 million, we're not going to pay, but they allowed him to talk, so they was entertaining it already. Parish then comes out and says, and there's a miscommunication or there's a difference of opinion between the owner of the club, the CEO or whatever, and the manager, right? Where the manager's saying one thing and the club's saying another thing, whilst Guehi's still engaging with Liverpool, right? To the point where the owner of the club allows the bid to come in, accepts the bid, allows his medical to take place, for it to be completed, right? The medical's completed. Then it hits 7 p.m., right? The details still haven't been done, and Liverpool are still told by Palace, submit that extra data sheet because you're just going to need a little bit more time, not to even get a replacement, but yeah, to sort out the situation, right? It then comes out that actually Palace now are, Igor didn't work out and we're now going to go and bounce. Palace are well within their rights to go and do that. But Guehi's, I guarantee he's not sitting there thinking, it's Liverpool's fault, man. Liverpool didn't. What else are Liverpool supposed to do? They accepted the damn bid. Don't accept it if you have a replacement. Newcastle was an example, great example. Newcastle did not accept that Isak bid or did not go and entertain anything until they had a replacement. And they said, until we get a replacement, we're not entertaining anything. Why would you accept something on the basis of, I'm going to accept it and hope I get a replacement if you can't bank on it?
When did Liverpool first be going for Guehi?
Today. Well, not today. They started the day yesterday.
Yeah, Liverpool's fault then.
Savage, you know, like in my mind, I'm like,
wait for the last day. He broke down.
The last day, you're asking man to find a.
Okay, you know what? Okay, it's not Liverpool's sole fault. They have a part in it, bro. They have a part in it because you waited for the deadline day to try and do that, bro.
But they told
so they said Liverpool couldn't offer like
guys, on a real.
That thing that you're saying about being told that you have to wait, that's not a realistic thing, though.
Well, it is a realistic thing.
Money talks, bro.
That's what they said. We had to wait.
Since the beginning of time when man are doing transfers, when a club says something, when a club says I don't want to sell a player, If how come no one listens to them people then? Once they say I don't want to sell.
No, bro. If the club said we can't, even if you throw in a bid, what's the point? You're wasting.
The club's
time.
not the one who said that they want to wait though. It was only Glasner who said that in the interviews, in the press conference. No. It's not the Palace didn't come out and say we have to wait to find a replacement. Glasner just spoke.
But that means our Edwards and the other guys are donuts. Then they don't know nothing. That's crazy. That means there was room for them to bid. That's what we're saying. There's room for them to bid, and we're going to wait.
I didn't say there's room for them to bid, but once the transfer window opens, you can make a bid whenever you feel
like. They told us no, so there's no point until we.
There is a point though. There is a point. That's why you've seen all these things since the beginning. If someone says, "Yo, I want to buy them Jordans, what signed? Can I buy them? They're not for sale, brother. I want to buy them, not for sale." Okay,
hypothetically, yeah.
I wouldn't have sold it, but since you want to offer that's it. And
hypothetically,
bro, they told us we can't bid until they get the replacements.
No, but you can't tell them not to bid. You can't. That's not
hypothetically. No, but hypothetically, right? Let's think about a bid, right? If I submit a bid, right? So I submit one bid, and let's say the bid we agreed with Palace that's going to be 35 M's, and I submit a bid of 35 M's, and Palace do what Newcastle did and say no, we're rejecting it. You can't bid 35 M's again. It's going to have to be 40 M's. Yeah. The bid is incremental. Yeah. So if we've had an agreement with Palace, you will sell to us for 35 M's at one point, but we need a replacement. I'm not bidding 35 M's for you to have to turn it down, and then I'm now having to go and pay over the odds. If you go and look at Isak, we submitted 110, we had to pay up 125. We paid more than the
I know from Liverpool's standpoint, what you're saying is right, it's great business, but we're talking about him. If you want the product that bad, you will bid more. That's just life.
Yeah, but
in terms of that, Liverpool didn't want him for that amount. Yeah, they valued him at a certain amount.
Yeah, or you start the proceedings early and you don't have this problem. You don't have all these last minute problems. My point is, you wait to the last day. Like
But we did start early, guys. That's what I don't think we're missing the point. We started over a month ago. We could not.
I don't remember ever starting this. I don't remember Liverpool ever submitting a bid a month ago.
Yeah, but
it's not about submitting a bid. You can't speak to a player. You can't speak to a player unless the selling club allows you to entertain, get into negotiations. 2 months ago, we had already gone and agreed a deal with Guehi. It was already personal terms secured. They're not an issue. Done. So Palace have already entertained.
So you've had 2 months now. So you've had 2 months.
Yeah, but then now in negotiation with the club, G. So now we've gone past the partner. Now we us and the player calm. Now we have a month and a bit to now negotiate with the club, right? So us and the players now done. That's on the side burner. Now we have to agree with the club. The club has come out and said, look, we don't want the Glasner says we don't want to sell him. The owner said, bro, shut up, we're going to sell him regardless, innit? So now Liverpool have to find an agreement. They're trying going back and forth in terms of the prices, whatever, trying to find a deal, right? No problem. Now we've come to a deal. This is what we're going to pay. Liverpool is going, okay, we'll pay what you're asking for. This is what we want to go in for. They turn around and say, look, yep, cool, we agree on this, but we need to find a replacement. Liverpool go, all right, cool, no problem. Sort out your replacement. We'll throw in the bid. They've gone and tried to get their replacements. We've then done our part, thrown in the bid. And everything's now going through. They've accepted it. We're calm. Medical's being done. They've turned around and said, nah, we ain't going to do it because we couldn't get our side of the business done. That can't be Liverpool's fault. We've ticked every single box. If we went in early and bidded early for him, there's no guarantee that they would have, because they've told us no matter what, we need to find a replacement. So we could have gone in and bid against
given them the time.
But they knew. If I'm allowing my player to speak to another club, what that's indicating that, bruv, the player's probably going to go and leave.
Exactly.
So I'm not saying,
but they don't want him to leave. I know we keep talking about.
But it's my point. You're saying they don't want to, but someone in the club, and this is why it goes back to Crystal Palace. Someone in the club said yes, whether it was Parish, whether it was Glasner, whether it was the flipping head of football.
Parish is going to be the one to.
Yes, you're allowed to do. Pardon?
No. But Parish is the chairman, so obviously he's going to be the one who's going to allow or not allow. What I'm saying is that the manager had spoken time ago about this. So whatever has happened throughout this period of time, he was not. But he's not looking for replacement. That's the point. He doesn't want a replacement.
It's not about the manager. But it's not about the manager.
It is about the manager because
it's the club. The club looked for a replacement, right? If Glasner was that adamant that this guy's not leaving and not doing that, Parish would not have entertained Guehi even speaking to Liverpool.
No, but
he would not have come out in the media.
That's true.
He would not have.
We know. You know why we know it's not true? Because they've succumbed